what's up? Welcome to your Buckeye Rush Hour for a Friday. Finally, freaking Friday. Let's get into it. We're talking spring game today. We're talking about recruiting visitors, ton of people coming into the Woody, into the shoe. Looks like we're going to have a banner day in old Columbus town. Weather looks great. According to Ryan Day, they've already sold 50,000 tickets. Who knows how many walk-ups you'll get? Probably another 10, 15, 20,000 if it continues to be nice. So could be looking at 70 to 80,000. That's a legit, especially for a game you're charging to get into. That's legit. But it's April 12th, 2024. A lot going on with the Buckeyes. We had an open practice today, this morning with the team and the media. They were able to see some things. A couple takeaways. First, before we get rolling, yes, I'll get to your questions and comments in the chat. I want to know what you guys are looking for in the spring game. Give me one position you're focused on. Quarterbacks, right guard, or whatever, safety, whatever it might be. Give me one position in the chat you're looking for, you're paying closest attention to. All right. So yeah, a couple notes that I found from practice. There's no video or anything out on the web that I've found so far. So we'll have to just keep going by the little bit of information that trickles in. But sounds like Julian saying the hype train continues for him, or is getting started, in earnest. Jeremiah Smith, still a freak, had another ridiculous touchdown today. Will Howard had a couple of great passes, including a touchdown to Emeka. Bryson Rogers is carving out a role in this offense, and the defense is obviously loaded. So very detailed info there. Yeah, I know. So yeah, we'll circle back to the spring game here, but I did want to give you the updated list as it stands right now of visitors for the game tomorrow. This is updated today at about 11 a.m. Let me refresh this. Yeah, okay. So this is what we're looking at. I'm just going to go 2025s. 2026 guys, there's a lot, but not a lot of big names. I don't think any quarterbacks are coming in from the 26. No quarterbacks that we've offered. Although wide receiver Chris Henry Jr. will be in town, so he can do a little bit of recruiting there, hopefully. But let's run through the 25s here. Interesting this week, was it Wednesday? Yeah. Byron Lewis, the running back out of American Heritage down in South Florida, was in town for a visit, a quick one. Also, Indiana defensive end Marion Dye. He's been high on the Larry Johnson hit list. So those guys came in on Wednesday. But for tomorrow's spring game, you got Tavian St. Clair in his usual spot. I think he's got his spot marked out for every weekend in Columbus. So the quarterback, TSC. Then you got Virginia running back Jeffrey Overton. Still lowly rated, but look for him to get a ratings boost here over the summer for sure. Tony Alford was really heavy on him, and the Buckeyes are still pursuing him with Coach Locke. Then you got Texas wide receiver Andrew March. I like this guy. I love Texas wide receivers, just you had me there. But then you got New Jersey wide receiver and recent Buckeye commit Des Jones. Current commit Ohio tackle Carter Lowe from the 419, making the ride down 23. Careful, don't break that speed limit on 23, man. They will get your ass. You could be doing 58 in a 55. You're getting a ticket. They don't give a shit. I speak from personal experience. I'm sure we all have made that venture. Anyways, then you got Nevada tackle Douglas Utu, Maryland defensive tackle Darion Smith, Pennsylvania defensive end, current Buckeye commit Zahir Mathis, coming over from Philly, Georgia linebacker Jaden Perlow, California linebacker Madden Fariamo, two big time targets for James Laurinaitis right there. Then you got current and recent Buckeye commit Florida linebacker TJ Alford coming up from Vero. Maryland corner Blake Woodby will be there. Texas corner Devin Sanchez. Alabama corner Naeem Alford, basically our 2025 secondary, will be there. Then you got New Jersey safety and recent Buckeye commit Deshaun Stewart. He's coming in along with Des Jones. Then you got the big safety out of St. Ignatius, huge target, Cody Haddad, just recently decommitted from Wisconsin. Watch, he's another one that's going to have a ratings boost. Don't let that 3-star crap fool you. Then you got Texas athlete Jonah Williams. I like this guy. He's a tough son of a bitch. He'll be in town. And the rest are 26s. You got guys like Brody Keefe coming out of North Carolina. Like I mentioned, Chris Henry Jr., Micah Smith, tackle out of Florida, Max Riley, Ohio tackle, Will Conroy, another Ohio tackle. So a bunch of other 26s. But it's about a half and half, I would call it, half and half split here between 25s and 26s. So going to be a good weekend to do some recruiting. And I think they're doing a barbecue afterwards. So they're kind of looping a bunch of different events into one day. I don't know how Ryan Day is going to keep up, man. I'd be passed out after the spring game. But so you got the spring game at noon. Then after that, they're doing a barbecue for the recruits and their families. So it's kind of that Buckeye barbecue, summer barbecue thing they do. Then you got the freaking Saddle Up concert to raise money for NIL in the Woody that night. It's country music concert. So don't ask me who's playing. I really don't know and don't care. But at this age, you really don't pay attention to newer music. Although Ryan Day does, so good for him. But he's relatively younger than me. I was going to circle back to the practice from today and see if there are any other highlights or lowlights for that matter. Jason Moore seems to be making some headway here. I think you're gonna see him as the third man in at D tackle behind Tyleek and Ty. If you're just coming in the door, folks, to the live show, please hit me with your one position you're watching this spring in the spring game tomorrow. Pick one position. You can't say just O-line or D-line. Excuse me, miss. Got some bourbon, a little 1792 for you. I highly recommend it. Very affordable. It's in that $30 range, depending where you get it. But very smooth. Don't ask me. So looks like CJ Hicks, the light bulb has come on for him, maybe. So he's flashing a little bit today at the practice. IGB, Jalen McClain. Look for Jalen McClain to get some playing time at safety tomorrow. We haven't seen much of him at all, if any. He redshirted last year, I believe. So, yeah, not a lot more info to relay from today's practice, but the recruiting's going to be hot and heavy. Really going back through this visitor list, Jeffrey Overton, the running back, I wonder where he pencils in or where they pencil him in. Obviously, he's behind Jordan Davison and Bo Jackson, and it's looking like Marquise Davis is just getting his relationship started with Coach Locke. Obviously, he has a strong one with Alford, so he'll be visiting up the cheaters up north, and hopefully they don't snag him, but I wouldn't be a bit surprised. I don't think we're going to get all three of those guys between Davis, Jackson, and Davison. That's confusing. Davis, Jackson, Davison. Anyways, I think we get Jackson and Davison. So where does Overton fit in? Is he the third guy in? If you're going to take three, you got to take three in this class. No doubt about it. We're going to be struggling to field a full running back room this year. We only have if Dallin said he's going to pop in the portal on Tuesday, whenever it opens. So that means you're down to 4 scholarship running backs. I know TC Caffey had a great game against Toledo a couple of years ago, but you got to get 5 scholarship guys in there. And so you're losing after this year Quinshawn and Trey. So that means you got to get 3 at least in this class. I don't think you could get 4. That's asking a bit much, but we'll see if Overton really wants to be a Buckeye. Going back, a lot of current commits. Darion Smith, a D tackle from Maryland. Interested to see how Larry Johnson plays that one. He's kind of lower rated, but maybe he'll hit these summer camps and make a jump. Then you got the linebackers, Jaden Perlow and Madden Ferriamo. Love both of those guys. So see if Laurinaitis can do some work there. Cody Haddad already has a crystal ball to the Buckeyes, so feeling good about him. And Jonah Williams, the athlete from Texas. This guy I like because he's from Galveston. He's 6'3", 200 pounds. He's got offers from everybody. Now, he does already have a crystal ball to Oklahoma, but I really like him. I would love to get a crack at him. Going back through some of these crystal balls recently, you got Elijah Barnes, Buckeye target at linebacker out of Texas. He's already got a crystal ball to Texas, just came in on, was that 3 days ago? Yeah, Tuesday. Trajan Odom, another D-line target for Larry Johnson. He's been crystal balled to USC. Then you got, I always fuck this guy's name up, Darren Ikenegbon. He is crystal balled to Georgia. He's not rated yet, but I'm sure he will be. Then Brock Schott, the tight end that the Buckeyes were going after. He's out of Indiana. He has 2 crystal balls to the Canes. So that's kind of surprising. Coming from Leo, Indiana. He's a 4-star, 9.205, 6'3", 215. So kind of surprising Miami was able to come in there and swing a big bag. But those are some of the recent crystal balls that have come through. Jamie French has one to the Buckeyes. That came in like a week ago. Cody Haddad was almost 2 weeks ago at this point. So, and K'Ron Lynch Adams, I think they're just waiting for Dallin Hayden to pop in the portal before they bring in K'Ron Lynch Adams at running back. We talked about him before. He's 5'10", 205 from Warren, Ohio originally, but coming to us from UMass. He had a big, like 1,200-yard rushing year last year, so at UMass. So a little bit tougher competition coming in, but he definitely is a depth piece for the Buckeyes, and that we need badly. So let's pop into chat here, see what's happening. We'll talk more spring game, recruiting, whatever you guys want to get into. Don't expect Jefferson to come in today. Tomorrow I will have your instant reaction to the spring game. Here's a little nugget, a little hint. Buckeyes win. Buckeyes win. Yes. 1-0. Just kidding. Yeah. Starting early tonight, folks. All right. Let's get to the chat. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope you have something cold in your glass. Odysseus was the first one in the door. He says OH and a bunch of nuts. I owe to you, Odysseus, with your nuts. Stephen Cherry says Julian Saying getting a lot of chatter. He is. And Ryan Day is not calming that chatter at all. He's kind of, I would say, billowing the flames, right? The other day in his press conference when he talked, he said Julian's in the mix. You take that to mean a lot of things, but got his black stripe off already in April. That doesn't happen to a freshman quarterback ever. So big things for Julian Saying. I don't know. I'm not sure he's going to start this year, but you don't know how things are going to go. You know, we've seen two quarterbacks get injured in one season, and we end up on the third stringer before. So worked out well that time. Not sure that that's the case study on every third string quarterback, but Julian Sand is no joke. I'm all on board, honestly. I mean, the guy was the number one quarterback in the class. Go back here and check out his profile. And yes, I know he's only like 6'1", maybe if that, you know, with lifts in his shoes, 195. So he's probably put on some weight. I'm sure he's up over 200 pounds by now, but they say he's got the quick release, accuracy, arm strength, all the things you want, you know. And the last California quarterback that came to Ohio State did pretty well for himself. The ball placement specialist, you might remember, Coleridge. So yeah, a 9966 5-star, number 6 player in the country. So yeah, I'm on board with Julian saying, don't start him yet. Let's let him learn the offense and get comfortable with the receivers. But let's see what happens here in fall camp for sure. All right. Back to the chat. Odysseus says, O-line play. Okay, that's very general. Okay, specifically offensive tackle. Okay. So you're looking at both tackles, huh? Yeah, we need to see improvement all across the line. I'm with you 100% there, especially the tackles. Right tackle is my concern. And then you got to think about going into the portal this week. We got to be scoping out some depth pieces. If there's no starter level, it's hard to assume anything right now. We're seeing so many guys rumored until they're actually in the portal, though. You can't go, you know, you can dream all you want, I guess. But yeah, I can't assume that there's a starter level tackle in the portal next week. But I would love it if there is. Yeah, definitely. And it sounds like Fryer has improved his body. He was one of the Iron Buckeyes this offseason, so that's awesome. Hopefully he's gotten more bendy, you know, more flexible, and doing some yoga or something. I don't know. Drop that body fat, maybe. I don't know. Whatever it takes, man. So Odysseus says offensive tackles is the position he's focused on. Stephen Cherry says linebackers. Okay. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how much 3 linebacker sets they go with, and who starts at the will. If they just go with the usual 4-2-5, you know, it could go either way there. It sounds like the light bulb has gone off for CJ Hicks, which is huge. It's amazing actually to me when you think about, he didn't look great in the Cotton Bowl against Missouri, was out of position at times. Then just 4 months later, the light bulb goes off. How does that happen? I don't know, but I'll take it. So we'll see. I want to see CJ Hicks. I want to see a lot of Sonny Styles too. PC says, what's up, gang? Let's go Buckeyes. Let's go PC. Odysseus says, I assume a real barbecue, not Golden Corral like up north. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the thing are they serving barbecue, or is it a cookout that they're calling a barbecue? Because those are two very different things. We all know that. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know there's a difference between barbecue meat and a cookout. Those get confused sometimes. Yeah, I doubt it's Golden Corral. I hope they're pulling out the red carpet, white tablecloth, the whole 9 yards, you know. PC says, of course, it was the JJ Smith show again today. Exactly. Yep. At least we finally get to see it for ourselves. The only thing we have to go off of is his high school highlight tapes for the last few months, you know. At least we'll be able to see him in the Scarlet and Gray, out there, number 4, flashing all over the field, making plays. Making plays on some really good defensive backs, probably, you know, possible first-round draft picks. Who knows? It's going to be fun to see. Doug Shepard says right guard is the position he's focused on. That's a good one. That's a good one, Doug. Sounds like they're continuing to rotate guys in there. I'm kind of partial to Luke Montgomery just because he's from the 419, but I like Tegra down there. Luke is good. Anybody, I mean, I think Luke has the athleticism that you want. And then you got, I don't agree with some of these. I don't know if it's beat reporters. I heard it on 97.1 out of Columbus today that Hinsman and McLaughlin are both working, obviously competing at center for that job, but also working in at right guard. I don't like that. I think you have your starter, you have your backup at center. You know, I don't think Hinsman's ready for right guard. He's still trying to put on weight, get stronger. He even admitted, you know, that he wasn't ready last year. I think he probably should not have ever been on the field, but he wasn't up to weight for number one. And mentally, he did not know what the hell he was doing half the time. And his grades, his PFF grades showed it. You know, we've talked about it a million times. But at that right guard spot, Doug, yeah, I like Luke. He's only in his second year, so maybe it's just a matter of time before he breaks in. But it's a big deal for second-year guys to crack the 2 deep for sure. We never saw that even when Herb was here, and you had Ed Warner, one of the better O-line coaches in the country. Never got a second-year guy in the 2 deep really. So Tegra. George Fitzpatrick is getting some run, so that's good to see. I want to see who those backup tackles are going to be, who's behind Josh Simmons, stuff like that when we're talking O-line. But right guard is a good one, Doug. PC says, position I'm watching for tomorrow, I'm going to have to agree with Odie. O-line, can they hold up against our D-line? You know, our D-line is going to be good. If the O-line is able to hold their own, that'll be good. Yeah, if we can get a stalemate, like D-line wins 50%, O-line wins 50%, that's a win for me. I'll take that. If the O-line can actually get some wins against the D-line, which you got to remember, you know, Jack and JT, Tyleek, they aren't going to play a ton tomorrow. They'll get the first series probably and then sit for the rest of the game. But then you got Kenyatta and Caden Curry. These are third-year guys coming in, you know. Can you lock them up from an offensive line point of view? If you can, that's showing me something. If you're still getting your ass kicked by the twos on D-line, then I'm still concerned, very concerned. So, yeah, O-line generally is a popular topic. Doug says Marquise Davis has better speed than Jackson. Yeah, he is the faster back for sure. He's got size too. He's like 210 now. Jesus, couldn't believe I saw that. Yeah, he has a lot of those breakaway runs on his highlight film, you know, where he goes the distance. But I like all of them. Marquise, Bo, Jordan, you know, I just you realistically, you know, we're only going to get like 2, right? Best case scenario. But there is room for reps when they do get here in 2025. As freshmen. So that's the beauty of recruiting right now at that running back room. There is room for playing time as a freshman, and that really helps. PC says, I'm looking forward to watching the wide receivers, but that's pretty much Buckeye porn at this point. Yeah, it is. Yeah, Jeremiah Smith definitely is Buckeye porn. Everybody wants to see some of that. And I probably see one series out of Emeka. Today they had Ballard starting with the ones at the outside. It was Ballard, Emeka, and Carnell Tate, the starting receivers in practice today. Oh yeah, I don't know if you guys heard this, but Brandon Ennis is out with an injury. He's supposed to be back for fall camp, so that's good. But right now he's got a lower leg injury. He's got a scooter and his foot is in a boot. So hopefully it's just a short term, 4 to 6 week thing. And he's back before summer so he can get back in shape over the summer and obviously be 100% once fall camp rolls around. So no Brandon Ennis tomorrow. Kind of sucks, I know. I was looking forward to seeing him in the slot just as much because we really, outside of that Purdue game, we didn't see much of him on the field. Back to the chat. PC says, I do not want them to bring in another running back through the portal. Give the scholarship to TC Caffey. If they do take one, fine, but I'd rather not. Yeah, it looks like they're going to take the dude from UMass. Just a depth piece, though. I don't know why they're not giving a scholarship to Caffey. He did just have one good game against Toledo. That's it, really. I think he would have to be showing a lot more in practice. He did have the ACL last year. He could possibly still be recovering, too. So you're basically just lighting a scholarship on fire if the guy's not ready to play yet, and Ryan Day's not going to do that. Oh, yeah. PC brings up Decorium Moore. I had some notes on him as well. Yeah. According to Bill Kiernick, wide receiver Decorium Moore and his mom will not be visiting for the spring game tomorrow. His track meet was moved to Friday today, so they won't be able to make it in town for the game tomorrow. They have rescheduled, though, and they will be here April 27th. So it's always good when they reschedule and announce that at the same time instead of just canceling, with no rescheduled date. So he's one of the spotlight guys in this 2025 receiver room for sure. So yeah, no Decorium Moore tomorrow, but he will be back in a couple of weeks. Thank you for bringing that up, PC. I meant to mention that earlier. PC says it's great that Sayan is getting the hype. He is not going to start this year, but I like the future outlook with him. Yeah, I think Ryan Day's really pumping his tires, maybe kind of recruiting him all over again, keeping him out of the portal. So, yeah, it's kind of somewhat strategic, I think, by Ryan Day. But PC says I'm really wanting Jelani Thurman to break out. The sky is the limit with him. I'd really love to see him as tight end too. Yeah. He's got the size. Has he learned the blocking aspect of playing tight end? He obviously, I think he's more dangerous as a weapon than Will Kazmarek and maybe even G. Scott for that matter. Those guys have only had under 20 catches, about 20 catches a year. So not a lot of production out of G or Kazmarek. So I see those guys being more the blocking, type guys, but I wouldn't be surprised if Jelani gets in there and mixes it up. You got to get these guys on the field, especially when you've got such a thin tight end room. We don't know what we're getting from Bennett Christian. Was out all last season with the PED suspension. He was able to practice during the week, but he was on scout team. So he wasn't really running the Ohio State offense or working with the Ohio State quarterbacks. He was running the other team's offense going against our defense. So then at tight end, you got Max LeBlanc, Demarion Witten coming in. Those guys aren't going to be ready as freshmen. They'll be here in like May or June. So, but they're not big dudes yet. I doubt they're coming in college ready out of high school. So they'll need a lot of time to develop over the summer and fall and stuff. So you really can't count on them. You really have a room of 4 guys. So I wouldn't be surprised if they go in the portal for a tight end for depth mainly. Again, you don't know if there's going to be a starter available in the portal at any position of that quality, you know. So I think they need at least one, maybe two, if he can swing it, you know, just for depth. Because if you want to run a lot of 12 personnel with two tights, if one of those goes down, you're in a world of hurt, man. You're down to like three tight ends then total, you know, and forget 13 personnel. That's not happening unless you're using offensive linemen and shit. So, yeah, I would look at a tight end in the portal. I would consider it. Back into the chat. Odysseus says, I heard they ran some 10 personnel in today's practice. Yeah, I heard that too. That's awesome. So 10 personnel is one running back, no tight ends. So you're talking about 4 wide receivers on the field at once. Give me all of that. Love that shit. Oh, PC's patting himself on the back. Don't throw your shoulder out, PC. He says, hey, I called it. I said weeks ago, JJ Smith starts. It is going to be fun to watch. All right. Good job. Good job. We'll give PC credit. Now, did you say he's starting the spring game, or are you saying he's starting week 1? Because those could be very different. But I'll give you credit. Doug says, I live in the 419, Joe. I ran a few EMS shifts in Findlay a few years back. Nice. I lived in Findlay when I was a kid. Blizzard of 78. Hell yeah. In my face. Made some of the best freaking igloos and tunnels outside the house. It was awesome. Yeah. Now I'm a Tiffin guy. We played Findlay High in high school. They were pretty good back then. I think they got a lot better since. Yeah, 419, a lot going on there. A lot of small little shit towns. Again, gotta obey those speed limit signs in those small towns. Especially if you've been drinking. T-Dub says, I hope one of the freshman corners stands out tomorrow. Okay. So you're talking Bryce West, Aaron Scott Jr., maybe Miles Lockhart in the slot. Excuse me. Yeah, I could see one of those guys making a play. They're going to get plenty of reps, that's for sure. The fans want to see him, you know. I want to see Aaron Scott. He's got the length. Bryce West is the track guy, you know. So I want to see them out there flying around, making plays, making stops, you know, maybe picking a ball off, hopefully against a walk-on quarterback. But yeah, I'd like to see the corners out there. I think Miles Lockhart's underrated and underappreciated at the slot. He's a tough little dude, man. He's not quite as big as Jordan Hancock. He might not have quite the length, but he'll come up and run support, smack a guy, and maybe even blitz him off the edge like you do with Jordan Hancock, you know, occasionally get in the quarterback's face and disrupt things. So, yeah, I would love to see the corners making plays out there tomorrow. You're going to see a lot of Calvin Simpson-Hunt, CSH, and Jermaine Matthews, all those guys. Starters are going to get one series and then probably sit. Lorenzo Styles Jr. was not practicing today, so I'm not sure what's up with that. He is probably going to be used in that slot, you know, behind a Hancock. So you got a few guys, and then Jermaine Matthews has been working in the slot too, you know, the nickel position. So he's got to be, if you're looking at, I consider those 3 kind of corner positions. You know, you got your 2 outsides, IGB and Denzel. Then your nickel or your slot is going to be Jermaine Matthews, probably behind Hancock. So, and Matthews can switch off, you know, if IGB goes down, he can switch out to the outside, you know. He's working on some flexibility there, and versatility is huge with these coaches. They love guys that can play more than one position and play it well, not just go out there. T-Dub says, go Buckeyes. That's right. T-Dub says, Tate will get more targets with Brandon out. That's for sure. Odysseus says, are the Keen holes to Iowa rumors just BS? I think so. I think it's just Iowa fans. Kind of like the cheater fans, they'd like to start rumors and shit that aren't real at all. So, I would say it's just somebody gets bored, and they start making fake rumors. You don't have to be right. You can just be first with a rumor, and people will jump all over it. So I'm not too worried about it. I was going to double check on the Keen holes talk, though. I haven't been on the message boards today, most of the day. 1 second. Let's check portal. Where's the portal? Portal? Eyes are getting bad, man. Can't see shit. Maybe it's all this drinking. No, that can't be the problem. Yeah. Nothing new. Nothing new on Keen holes from my sources, I guess. Not really. I think it is just BS, Odysseus. I'd be shocked if Keen holes left. I really think, and I know I've said this before on previous shows, but do not be a bit surprised when the Buckeyes roll into fall camp with 5 quarterbacks. That's very, very possible. Don't be surprised. You heard it here first. I'm not one of these guys that says you can only have 4 in the room. Screw it, man. Keep them all. Will Howard's gone after this year. The job could be Devin's next year. It could be Lincoln's. You could have a Lincoln versus Devin versus Sayin versus Air 4-way QB battle a year from now, right? I doubt they're going to bring in another transfer quarterback, after the bowl games and the playoffs. So I really think we could have 5 quarterbacks still on the team in the fall. So we'll see. Stephen Cherry says, call me old Joe. No, I'm not old. What are you talking about? But I hate when wide receivers do these soft TikTok dancing videos. Let's beat the cheaters, then dance all you want. Fair point, Stephen. It does look a little fruity to me. We're probably close to the same age, I would imagine, within 10 years. So I would agree. I don't know. Are there other ways for you to get hyped up before a game than dancing? I mean, I don't know. It's not a big deal because we win most of our games when they dance, or they dance every game and we win most of them. But it's a bad look when you do lose. That's for sure. But now the cheaters, have you seen the cheaters wide receivers doing their dances? So glass houses, cheaters should not throw stones. So yeah, I agree with you though, Stephen. It's kind of fruity. I'm not going to lie. I'm not down with it. You don't see me on TikTok or anything for that matter, looking up wide receiver dancing. I don't agree with some of the guys I've seen on Twitter talk shit about the videos, like, calling them soft and shit like that. But you're going to get that when you put that kind of crap out there online. You open yourself up. T-Dub says, O-line in the spring portal. Are you asking if O-linemen are going to go in the portal from Ohio State? Yeah, I would say yes. You're going to lose somebody that's been there for a while, like a 3rd or 4th year guy, like a Zen Mahalski maybe. Enoch Vamahi, uh, Fitzpatrick, possibly. He's just going into his third year, but those fourth year guys, and Vamahi's a freaking fifth year guy. Um, yeah, I think you will lose at least one O lineman in the portal from the Buckeyes. Um, Another reason why you got to go get some depth there, even if there's no starter quality for the Buckeyes, the level we're looking for, you still got to go in there and get some depth because, we've talked about it a ton. Ryan Day has talked about it recently. You got to be three strong at every position. This is going to be 16 games, ideally 17 at the most. But most likely for the Buckeyes, it would be a 16-game season. You're going to take a loss, probably. I don't like to say that, but NFL teams don't even win 16 games, man. So you do need to go into the portal to get some depth for sure at all positions. I mean, except quarterback, obviously. So I think we need depth everywhere, honestly. Odysseus says, if Orgy or Tuttle is their starter, I can see Day hanging 100 on those clowns. I agree with that. Things could get ugly if that's your go-to. I thought they had a transfer quarterback from out west. What the fuck was that dude's name? They're still looking. I know they're going to be looking. Who will they find is a question. Jaden Davis, the freshman, I don't think he's going to start. Yeah, I'll have to look for that dude. Maybe they didn't get him. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe they can get Cade McNamara back. I think he's still got a year of eligibility there at Iowa. I think he's their starter this year. So there's that. Odysseus says, I bet the cops there think the speeders are Weasel fans. Yeah, maybe that's, yeah, you get it. That's a thing. My frustration with living in Toledo, in Bowling Green, and Tiffin, and Findlay, is all you got over the air or even your cable package when I was a kid was just fucking Toledo stations. And they only showed the Michigan highlights on Saturdays, never showed Ohio State. So, and I know there's still plenty of cheater fans up there in the 419. A little border skirmish up there. Ching, ching, ching. Back to the chat here. PC says, I'm on delay. I say JJ starts the first offensive snap in the first game and then some. Okay. I like that, PC. Troy says, wait till you're older. You'll need cheater glasses for your cheater glasses. Okay. That's funny. I need them now, like now, this minute. But we're struggling. We're getting by here. Bourbon makes a good vision, double vision. T-Dub, I definitely see air leaving. Okay. Well, you got to wonder if the reason that he is lowest on the totem pole right now is because there were rumors of him being somewhat unhappy early on in January when he first got to campus, like being late for meetings, practices, or whatever. So you gotta wonder if that's part of it, sending him a message, or if Saiyan is really doing that much better than Air. Maybe Saiyan has just flat out earned it, with the stripe coming off and everything. So that's a possibility. PC says, yeah, no dancing. That's why I can't stand TikTok. I had no idea people like to dance that much. I hate it myself. Yeah. we wanted to dance, we had to go to the freaking club, man. Go over to Finley, Roxanne's. That was where you picked up all the chicks. And it wasn't really dancing, they're really just grinding your junk all over some chick's ass. So it's fun though. Every Friday and Saturday, worth the drive. Some quality in there. And you occasionally get in fights with the bouncers. They think they're all that. So we'd roll over there with like 6 or 8 of us. It was always fun. But anyway, PC says, I'd be surprised if anyone on the 2 deep at any position leaves. 3 deep, maybe. Yeah, I think that's kind of what I was alluding to in the O-line transfer portal stuff is you got a lot of dudes. You got 17 offensive linemen here. Okay, so 10 are in the 2 deep, 15 are in the 3 deep. That leaves 2 out. So I wouldn't be a bit surprised if we leave 2 right there. We're a little thin at DN too. If you take away JT and Jack, Kenyatta and Caden, Curry, you just got Mitchell Melton, and then second-year guy Josh Mickens, who hasn't played hardly at all. So you're not really 3 deep there. You got 2 freshmen here with Edric, obviously, but he's not a JT or a Jack. Then you got Dominic Kirks coming in out of Paynesville this summer. He's not going to be ready, you know. So you're a little thin there. You might have 3 barely, but, you know, Melton hasn't played a lot. Mickens played none. Edric played none yet. I assume they'll get Houston some playing time just because he's a 5-star, you know, and you got to keep recruiting these guys every second of every day, it seems. PC says, Joe, how do you feel about having so many returning seniors? I've heard it's a huge deal. Plus, it seemed to have worked out last year for the Cheaters. Yes, I am all for having guys 1 year older than your opponents. The Cheaters had some 24 and 25-year-olds, and that's no joke. And I think if you can hang on to some older dudes, not just studs like JT and Jack, Emeka, but just having experienced guys come back, that is huge, man. Hopefully it doesn't leave a huge gaping hole next year. You know, we got to get these juniors and younger players on the field early and often so they can get experience, you know, in live fire. So yeah, I'm all for having an older team. For the most part, your core, you know, that's good. You still got to have some young studs, you know, Jeremiah, Sonny Styles, guys like that, you know, running around. IGB, you know, you got to have those guys too. But I'm all for returning seniors. Odysseus says the Cheaters had a Stallions helping their 30-year-olds. Yeah, they did. They sure did, man. Fucking Stallions. Cock smoker. Hate that guy. What's he up to right about now? PC says the Cheaters had to replace their entire O-line. Not many people are talking about that. Their time is coming. Yeah, exactly. Their entire team defense is in good shape. Now let's see what happens to this D line, especially. Do the D tackles skip town here when the portal opens? Do they wait until after the spring game, then bolt? They've got a little bit of time after their spring game next week. I think the portal's open till for 2 weeks. So till about May 1st, I would guess. So if Michigan loses anybody else off that defense, they're in for a world of hurt because that defense is the only thing that's going to keep them in games and going to keep that score low, you know, because they're not going to get a ton of offensive output. You know, it's going to be more turn around and hand it off orgy or whoever. So, yeah, I agree. That O-line is going to be a problem for them. Steven says, can Justin Fry flip the script and produce a dominant bullying offensive line? At a place like Ohio State, offensive line should never be a question mark. I think so. I think so. I think making the change at center with Seth McLaughlin is huge. If you can just solidify that right guard, like Doug said earlier, if you can get a stud or at least, above average good play from Luke Montgomery or whoever takes over that right guard job, we will be in really good shape. Josh Fryer has to be better too. Now we need to see improvement everywhere. I expect Donovan Jackson to bounce back. So let's see what happens. Yeah. But we need some road graders up there. And you're going to see more QB power, not triple option, but run zone read. You're going to see a lot more, RPOs. So that O-line is going to have their shit together. And I think if Justin Fry can develop this O-line and get these guys running downhill, smashing dudes, you can't judge the first 4 games. But if you can go to Iowa and road grade those suckers and then go to Oregon and mash them into the turf, now you're talking. That's what you're looking for. Oregon's going to be a huge test for that O-line, not just in pass pro, but in running the ball. You got to be able to move the ball. And that's going to be like our first, signal of where the O-line is at. First 3 games, no, that's not going to be it. And even Michigan State's not going to be it. But yeah, I think Justin Fry can do it though. You got guys like PC just mentioned. You got guys that are a year older. Donovan Jackson, older. He could have gone to the NFL into the draft. He would have been a mid to later round pick, probably like third through 5th or something like that, those rounds. But I think bringing in McLaughlin is gonna make a big difference until he starts rolling the ball back there to the quarterback. I don't expect that. PC says, Joe, are they going to be using helmet comms tomorrow? I believe so. Yeah, they've been using them all throughout practice. So yeah, expect that. PC says grinding, LOL. Yeah. No, I'll be in there grinding. Chicks be grinding on you too. Odysseus says, need a bouncer ready in case Connor tries to sneak into the spring game. Yeah. I would think every Big Ten stadium has a wanted poster outside their stadium of old Stallions with his recording glasses on and shit. Yeah. I think he's a wanted man. Troy says, only dancing I know is the dance of the mosh pit. I would consider it. I would condone that. That sounds good. I've been through a few mosh pits. Woodstock 94. It's a little dirty, a little muddy. 9 Inch Nails, Metallica, Aerosmith. I saw those 3 at night. Early in the day, though, was Cypress Hill, Red Hot Chili Peppers. Shit. Too many recreational drugs. Anyway, that was one of the most epic mosh pits I've been through. And some good 9 Inch Nails concerts back in the day, and some other, concerts, Soundgarden, shit like that. Odysseus says, will we see the double eagle tomorrow? Hey, if you get your hands on some double eagle, I would love some of that. That shit's expensive, man. It's like 20 grand a bottle. No, I don't think we'll see the double eagle. They'll save that. I think you'll see a lot of base defense. You probably see a little blitzing. They'll probably try and heat up the quarterback like they have been in the scrimmages and stuff, bringing CJ Hicks up the gut. A little bit of Sonny Styles as well. So you're going to see some blitzing. I don't know about the double eagle stuff. I think they're going to play it kind of straight up. Troy says, who will miss Stallions more, the Cheaters or Central Michigan? Yeah. Whatever happened to that? Whatever happened to that Central Michigan stuff? They just let anybody on the sidelines there. Apparently, it doesn't matter, right? I guess it is Central Michigan, so who gives a shit? Um, I doubt their head coach could even name half the people on their sideline. So that's crazy. They just let it go away into the ether. Nothing happened. Nothing to see here. Unbelievable. Odysseus says, heard smoke, their NILs and coming through. Arrogant boosters think they can keep winning with developmental pieces. Yeah, I've heard that too. Checks are coming due and there's no money in the account, right? for the cheaters. Yeah, heard NIL is a big problem. So yeah, we don't. They're going to turn into a Miami here real quick if they don't start paying their dudes. I thought they were in great shape NIL wise. That's all we heard last year is they had all these they had like a trust set up where that was earning interest and they were paying guys the NIL money off of the interest and seemed like they had it figured out. Now, nope. That's why I'm curious to see what happens when the portal opens, especially after their spring game next weekend. If checks aren't being paid, you will see defensive players for the cheaters pop in that portal. I guarantee you. Odysseus says maybe D-line of scum is the Josh Pate portal rumors. Could be. Yeah. I've heard Josh Pate talking about that big time. Yeah. It's supposed to be like a massive exodus, I guess, nationwide. He said that one team knows they're losing an entire position group, but then they've already backfilled it by obviously tampering, which apparently is not a problem. So they've already backfilled it though with guys that will be in the portal. So, it's Tamper City right now. You got kids reaching out to coaches, coaches reaching out to kids, going through a third party, whatever, and trying to, fill their room, fill their position groups. And then, so you find out your entire, say, running back room is all transferring out. So then somehow you're able to go and find new replacements for them that are not even in the portal yet. That's freaking insane, man. I do love the awesome rumors about Caleb Downs going back to Alabama. That's the best one. Talk about reaching. Stephen Cherry says, tell Joel Klatt to stay away. He is such a cheater ass kisser. Yeah, he loves him some JJ McCarthy, doesn't he? Loves some Sharon Moore. Jeez. Yeah, I'm off of Klatt. I could pass. Troy says, I turned Klatt off last year when he excused the cheating like it was a good thing. No need for that guy anymore. Exactly. Yeah, he's a fucking asshole. I don't get it. I don't understand these guys that condone the cheating, like it wasn't a big deal. Whatever, Klatt. Goofy ass Klatt. Odysseus says Klatt reports to Silverman, Fox Sports COO, and Scumgrad. Exactly. Never hurts. Never hurts when your boss is a cheater fan. So, all right, folks. Awesome show. Hope you guys enjoy the game tomorrow. Again, I'll have a instant reaction after the game. And me, Jeff, and Sean will be live Sunday night. I want to get their thoughts on the game and who impressed them, who didn't impress them also. And we'll talk about where we see things going as we basically head into summer. It's going to be a while before we hear from Ryan Day. After the game, obviously, we'll hear from him and probably some players. But after that, we're probably not going to hear from Ryan Day for a month or two. You know, coaches will take off. They'll get like a week or two of summer break because there's no recruiting. There's some downtime there. Then you got recruiting gearing up, official visits, and end of May 31st, those start through June, most of June. So we'll definitely have lots of recruiting to talk about. And we'll finish up here with PC, get the last two comments. He says, what did I miss on Clad? I used to like him. I didn't hear about him supporting the cheaters and their cheating. Yeah, last year, he was all over Sharon Moore's dick. JJ McCarthy's been going off about draft related, JJ McCarthy stuff, like JJ is such an awesome quarterback. PC says, oh, well, screw him. Thanks so much for everything, Joe. See you later, gang. Go Bucks. That's right. With that, we will talk to you later. Go Bucks.